Are you serious? Are you serious? Okay, guys, I know that that shooting in Arkansas was horrific. 25 people were wounded. Good news is nobody died. And gang violence is something it's an issue in this country that is just not being addressed completely. But we do have something we can address here, and that is this. There's been a solar flare, an explosion on the sun. Now, I've seen bigger ones, and BP Earthwatch has done a good job covering it. He has a great video out on it. His concern is the fact that it's Earth facing, and the Earth is we're going to take a hit from the coronal mass ejection. There's no question. CMEs are going to hit us. He's projecting that we should start feeling this thing, the wave from the sun. It should hit us about 12 noon Eastern. And so he's putting out an earthquake watch for today, Sunday, July the 2nd. And so we're going to keep an eye on it in the next 24 hours, starting at noon Eastern until noon Monday the 3rd or so, I think would be the high peak hours that if there's going to be a significant earthquake, and I mean, that's anything over 6. If we're going to have one of those, I would say it would happen in the next 24 hours. So keep a close eye on it. Look, there's no question that you can link coronal mass ejections, especially from solar flares, or solar wind speeds if there's a hole in the atmosphere of the sun. Well, the solar winds right now in the sun are clocking at this moment 530 kilometers per second. That's extremely powerful when average is 320. So there's not quite double, but certainly a 75% increase here of the solar winds on the sun, and an explosion of a CME Earth facing headed this direction at any time now. So if there's some weak points, it depends where that CME burst hits on the Earth. If it hits in the Ring of Fire, or if it hits somewhere like in Chile, or somewhere like the Fiji Islands, or maybe up in the Cascadia up there, in Washington State or Canada, or maybe up there in Alaska or Japan. I mean, the Ring of Fire certainly is concerned. You even got to watch down under in New Zealand and what have you, because there could be an area where a quake could really do some damage. I always keep a close eye as well on Southern California, but you got to watch Indonesia, those areas. So it just depends where it hits. And if it hits, and if any of those tectonic plates are very weak and are ready to go, this could be enough to push them over the edge. So let's just keep a close eye, heads up, as he would say, BP Earthwatch. I'll put the link below. I can tell you right now, since the solar flare exploded, here's what has happened. The big quakes that we've had, over 4, let's go with 4.6 in Peru, 4.6 in Indonesia, and 4.6 in China. There's also a 4.3 in Argentina, a 4.3 in Japan, a 4.1 in Italy. There was a 4.0 in New Zealand, 4.9 in Nepal, up there in the Himalayas, a 4.3 in Russia, a 4.0 in Chile, a 4.2 in Mexico, a 4.7 in the Central Atlantic, Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a 4.7 in India, a 4.7 in Japan, 4.4 in, I believe that's Turkey, but I want to double check that. Is it? No, in Turkmenistan, also 4.3 in Iceland, and a 4.2 very shallow quake in Macedonia, and a 5.4 down under in New Zealand. That was strong. 5.5 in New Zealand just a few minutes ago. 4.5 earthquake